Welcome back to Primetime News, and again, a special welcome if you're watching online at onespotmedia.com. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark has blasted the opposition spokesman on finance for comments he made during his contribution to the budget debate. In closing the budget debate, Dr. Clark argued that Julian Robinson's speech was riddled with inaccuracies. Now, Vashan Brown has been covering the debate and now joins us in studio. Vashan.
All right, thank you so much, Herman. So the opposition raised several concerns during the budget debate, from price increases to the government's decision to use money from the Bank of Jamaica profits to fund the budget. Well, today, the finance minister got a chance to respond. The opposition spokesman on finance argued that many Jamaicans are hungry because they cannot afford basic food items due to price increases. But Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark argued that the price increase data presented by Julian Robinson were just not credible. He questioned why the opposition did not get reliable information from the Consumer Affairs Commission.
Why would the opposition spokesman come to Parliament with his data gathered from one unnamed source?
These are some of the price increases outlined by the opposition spokesman.
Cooking oil, $85 in 2016. Is now $220, an increase of 158%. Tin mackerel has moved from $55 to $100, an increase of 81%.
But Dr. Clark said the prices used by the opposition spokesman were completely off, arguing that the Consumer Affairs Commission data tell the real story.
According to the Consumer Affairs Commission, corned beef moved by between 17% and 31% over the 5 years, which is approximately 3% to 5% per year. Cooking oil by 16% to 22%, or approximately 3 or 4% per year. Rice by 36%, or approximately 7% a year. Pre-packaged dark sugar, Madam Speaker, all of those things he reported inaccurate information on.
Dr. Clark also took on the opposition leader, saying that his comments on the Bank of Jamaica dividend were misleading. In his contribution to the budget debate, Mark Golding blasted the government for using money from the BOJ to fund the budget, arguing that the Holness administration is using devaluation as a tax. But like the Prime Minister, Dr. Clark is asking where are the BOJ dividends for the years the PNP was in office.
Madam Speaker, the audited financial statements of the BOJ show that between 2000 and 2007, and again between 2012 and 2016, 11 years when the opposition was in power, using Mr. Gold's analysis of just adding it all up, the Bank of Jamaica enjoyed foreign exchange dividends of approximately $728 million US. At today's exchange, that's $107 billion. I want to know, Madam Speaker, where are the dividends?
It's why Dr. Clark is giving the opposition this advice.
They say that when you live in a glass house, do not throw stones. And Madam Speaker, it is even more evident that if you take a little golden dust and you throw on the glass house, it is still only a glass house on this issue.
Now, Vashan, we understand that the weekend lockdowns also came up for discussion. What kind of assistance did the finance minister say people will receive?
Well, Herman, the finance minister says funds will be made available to ease the burden that the vulnerable will face during the lockdown. He says the money will be disbursed through the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, on April 1.
The government of Jamaica will provide support in aggregate, equivalent to $2 million per constituency, but meaning that will have to take account of local government as well, right? Sometimes with the unknown constituencies, councils say, hey, what about me? So a total of $126 million through representatives to assist citizens during this these weekends of lockdown.
All right, thank you very much, Vashan, for that report. And the House of Representatives this afternoon passed changes to the Disaster Risk Management Act. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie has proposed 40 new fines of up to $500,000 for breaches of COVID-19 orders. Mr. McKenzie says on the lower end, persons could be fined $5,000 for not wearing a mask in public and $10,000 for breaking curfew. There are also fines for breaking quarantine.
Persons who normally reside in Jamaica and on returning to the island from overseas fail or refuse to remain in quarantine or to obey the other directives or order is liable for a fine of $25,000. If a person who does not normally reside in Jamaica or who is a tourist refuse to stay inside the resilient corridor as required, the penalty is $30,000.
The fine for unlawful church services and funerals is $100,000. It's the same for illegally operated bars. And on the higher end, hotels could be charged $500,000 for breaches.
One who operate a hotel, a resort cottage that is not licensed under the Tourist Board Act, certified by the Tourism Product Development Committee, or located within the resilient corridor is subjected to a fixed penalty of $500,000. This fine is also applies to any hotel, resort that breaches COVID-19 protocols and to any nightclub, amusement park, water attraction that is operated when it is ordered closed.